Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. Today we are talking about the Eight of Swords. And remember, you can always listen to this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So the Eight of Swords. It's a card of an illusion, actually. It's this feeling of being trapped, when in reality, we're actually not trapped. This person has these ropes tied around them, but there are these sharp swords right behind them. And think about it. If you were trapped, if your eyes were blindfolded and there was like ropes around you and you couldn't really move your arms, the first thing you would do is panic and try to wiggle out or try to find something around you, a stick, something, to see if you could kind of get those ropes off of you, right? If this person literally just backed up a couple inches, they would feel that sharp sword up against their arms and they would be like, oh my God, thank God. I can shimmy back and, break through this rope on one of these swords, right? The point of the card is that it's an illusion, that this person is not actually trapped, that it's a mental trap. It's kind of like one of those Chinese finger traps where you put your fingers inside and then when you try to pull them out, you can't pull out your fingers. But really all you have to do is just reactivate the trap so that you can pull out your fingers again. It's a mental trap, in other words, with the Eight of Swords. And we can get into a mental trap about anything, right? The way that I like to look at the Eight of Swords, though, is it's more like one of those things that we want to put on the back burner. Do you ever have something in your mind that you think about every day, something that bothers you mentally, something that makes you feel trapped or insecure, whether it's like a bill that's overdue, like paying down your debt, or, dealing with a person that you don't want to deal with, or you keep putting off an email. Now, those are just super practical examples. Of course, this can be more extreme than that, right? This can be putting off going to the doctor when you feel like there's something wrong or whatever, love and light. We all do this, is my point. We all put stuff off. We feel this nagging feeling, but we're just whatever, I don't want to deal with it. That's kind of how I see the Eight of Swords. I don't see it as super toxic where it's one of those annoying in-between cards, because the Nine of Swords is when something actually becomes a problem. Right here at the Eight of Swords, it can be dealt with. We still have some wiggle room here. We're still able to get out. But with the Nine of Swords, which is the next card after this, that's when we start to feel like we actually are going to need a strategy to get out of this now, where, now, say it is debt or something, then you're sued by the company, where before we could have come up with a, Dave Ramsey strategy, King of Pentacles, let's pay this down 1 week at a time, let's put $27 here, 36 over here, and over the course of the next 4 years, yeah, it sucks, Eight of Swords, it's annoying, it bothers my brain, but we can get out of this, we can wiggle out of this trap. But when it gets to the Nine of Swords, that's when it starts to become a true issue. So actually, the Eight of Swords is kind of like that alarm that's just going off. Meh, 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 and we just keep snoozing it. Step one of getting out of the Eight of Swords is honesty. It's self-honesty. And sometimes that is the hardest part of all, is just being honest with ourselves. There's a reason why we're avoiding something. It's annoying. It's going to take us a while, whatever. But that, again, I don't know why Dave Ramsey keeps coming to mind. I don't even necessarily agree with all of his methods, but he does have certain things down that really help people. People call into his show, and the first thing he does is he asks them a series of questions regarding their debt. You know, what do we got going on here? How much money are you in debt? How did this happen? Like, I listened to this lady the other day talking about how she basically admitted to him, like, yeah, I guess I kind of like online shopped a little too much, and a little too much was $20,000, right? So the Eight of Swords, there's a good reason why we put this stuff off. It's not like, oh wow, like you're not taking care of your issues, like look at you, let's judge you. No, sometimes the Eight of Swords, it's like that Chinese finger trap. We have that panic moment. It's like we're hitting the panic button. I don't know what to do. And in the Eight of Swords, sometimes we actually don't know what to do. So that's why we're kind of just resorting to staying in these ropes and just kind of standing here, like kind of hoping and praying as the tumbleweed moves by that something will happen, something will change, something will get better, when in reality, we're the only ones who can get us out of this trap. So step number one, like with the Dave Ramsey show, it's looking at those cold, hard facts. It's the logical. It's like, how did we get here? What happened? Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the facts. What do we have to deal with? Let's just have a moment of honesty, a come to Jesus moment, put it all out on the table. This is how I feel, if it's a person or if it's a relationship or if it's a job. This job sucks. I hate it. I want to leave. It's like, okay, good. There we go. Step one. I hate this job. I want to leave. Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get another job. We'll get to that. Step one is just the honesty of it. It's the admittance, right? A lot of the Eight of Swords comes from, I don't even want to think about step one. I don't even want to get there. I'm just pushing it under the rug. I don't care if it's a big elephant, glaring elephant in the room every single night when I watch TV. Oh well, just leave the elephant there. He's cute anyway. We'll get to it later. If you look down on the ground of this card, there are these shallow pools of water. I almost said shadow, and that's exactly what it is. It's like the shadow consciousness, the shadow emotion. And I don't mean shadow as in bad. I mean shadow as in unconscious. You know, Carl Jung, his famous quote, what is it? It's something like, until we make the subconscious, this water here, until we make the subconscious conscious, it will rule our lives. And we'll call it fate. We'll be like, oh, this is my fate. Just the Eight of Swords. Just trapped here, stuck in this job I hate, stuck with this person that I feel like I'm kind of, just wasting my time with. I'm in this situation. It kind of keeps snowballing and getting worse. But I don't want to look at it. I don't want to deal with it. It's this subconscious, emotional mind. But see, this is like the emotion within the mind. And I do believe it's a little bit of a different thing than the emotion of the heart with this shallow pool of water. The ego, the mind, the logic, it does have a form of emotion. And that's why we would rather stay literally trapped. We can't use our arms. We can't see anything. We would rather just stay right where we are, not be able to move, not be able to do anything, than, God forbid, feel something. Because if we start feeling, then what's going to happen? We might feel like it's going to spiral out of control. We might feel like, if I tell this person how I feel, what's going to happen? Like it's going to ruin the friendship, or it's gonna like do something crazy to my life. Like, what if I open up to this person, if it's a person? What if I open up to this person and then they see the real me and then they reject me? I'd rather just like play it cool. I'd rather just kind of stand here stoically in my Eight of Swords. They don't know anything about me, and that's safer for me, right? If it's a person. If it's a situation, it's like, oh, I'd rather kind of just avoid. It's kind of like avoidant attachment style, where it's like we could have extremely deep emotions about something, like we want to do something, we want to have something, we want to achieve something, whatever it is. And yet we detach from it because we're afraid of where these pools of water will take us. Because these waters, yes, they start up in the mind, but they do trickle down into the heart space where the deep pools of water really are. And that's what, say this is a money issue, say it's debt. Not to talk too deeply about money here, but my parents filed for bankruptcy when I was younger, and there was always like conversations about money and stuff like that. So for me, money has been, I remember when I was like 18 years old, I was like, I'm not going to take out one credit card. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to go down the road. I don't want to deal with any of this. But then obviously, as we know, we need credit in life to do things. So as I got a little bit older, I'm like, damn it, all right, I'm going to have to do this. I'm just going to be super careful. I was so stringent with my money for years and years and years. Then when the pandemic happened, whatever, shit hit the fan. I got into debt. I had to sell a lot of my investments. I left my ministry at that time. I used all of my back end money to survive. It was like Eight of Swords. It was weighing on me. So I had to take a moment and I had to go down into this water. This is the tricky part with the Eight of Swords. See, it trickles down. It seems like, oh, I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to go there. There's a good reason why you don't want to go there, because you know where this water connects? Way down into that heart, where the deep waters are, where you remember all that stuff from childhood. How could I let this happen? I'm just like my father. I promised I would never let myself get into debt. What is wrong with you, you idiot? You said you would never let this happen, and now you're $18,000 in debt. Whatever, guys. I'm just being freaking honest. I don't care. Use me as an example. I have lots of stories I can tell you. I've gotten out of a lot of things. I've gotten out of a lot of Eight of Swords. That's why I'm able to tell the tale with a smile on my face right now instead of crying as I'm talking about it. The first step of the Eight of Swords is the honesty of it all. The second step is that pool of water that we need to address. Because why are we really avoiding something? Is it because we just don't want to deal with it? We're too lazy? Half the time, 3/4 of the time, 87, 89, 95% of the time, it's actually this pool of water that we don't want to deal with. It's always deeper than, oh, I'm just avoiding this. I don't want to deal with this elephant in the room. It's because of this pool of water. It's because of where it connects. It connects to the ocean. And it trickles on down to that subconscious. It's much easier, like Carl Jung talks about, it's much easier to just blame it on fate. Just blame it on, oh, this is just my fate in life, just to kind of feel stuck, I guess. I guess this is just, this is kind of common. This happens. And it's not to beat ourselves up. It does happen. Look at Dave Ramsey's show. That was step one for me when I started having to look at my money situation and be like, all right, I got to go King of Pentacles, boring route with this, start unraveling myself with this debt, whatever, guys. I'm just using this as a freaking example because a lot of people relate to debt, right? But then when I got to step two, it was deceptively deep. I was really struggling when I was thinking through all of this stuff on step two with these pools of water, where it was really connecting. And then I saw why I avoided it for years. Why was I wasting all of my hard-earned money paying interest? Well, that's because I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to think about the fact that I did the thing that I promised I would never do. So that's when we get to step number 3. And this is what actually unties us from the situation. It's that moment of radical acceptance. It's that moment of looking in the mirror. This is what happened. Here are the facts on paper, Dave Ramsey style, writing out all the numbers. I spent $7,000 here. I spent $1,400 over here. I have a credit card for $6,000 over here. We look at it all. We deal with the emotions of it. We go there, so to speak. Step number 3 is that moment of like, you know what? This sucks. Because 8 of Swords, in my opinion, it always sucks. There's always an element of suckiness to it. There's a reason why we're trapped in the 8 of Swords. It's a mental trap, but it's an illusion. Because there is always a way out. And it's literally right behind us. It's that close. You are a couple inches away from your freedom. And step 3 is how we get out. It's that moment of, damn, this sucks. But I'm here. I know what I got to deal with. Now let's start moving in the direction of our plan. It's that moment of just, self-comfort, saying, I did that thing I said I would never do. Here I am. Or this thing happened that I wished would never happen. Or I'm in this situation that I wished I would never be in. But I'm just a person. And it's going to be all right. We're going to work ourselves through this. Let's take a moment to take a sip of water on this one. Because you're going to need it. You're going to stop at step 3 for as long as you need. Because sometimes it's actually very upsetting to realize, I'm dating another narcissist, for example. I can't believe I'm here again. Or, wow, I kind of thought that by now I'd be like rich and I'm not. And I've tried a bunch of stuff in my life, and here I am. I'm still just stuck financially, or I'm still stuck in this state that I live in, or, I'm still not losing weight. Like, I don't have a 6-pack abs like I wish I did. 1111 on my timer up here. A wish number. It's like, I wish this, I wish that. We can have those things. This is the funny thing about the 8 of Swords, and that's why we pause and reflect on step 3, because 8 of Swords, it's like that alarm. It's like a tripwire. Actually, the 8 of Swords is just that flag coming up. Can actually, if we turn it around, can be a reminder of all the things that we can still have. It is never too late. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how many times you've messed up. I don't care how many people have cheated on you. I don't care whatever situation it's in. I don't care. And that's the beauty of the 8 of Swords. You can, think about inventors. How many times did somebody try to invent something? Right? Usually it's on like the 75th time. Or even if it's like the 14th time. You tried 14 times. I literally have like 14 YouTube channels. They're not active. They're just like different little projects that I tried throughout the years. Right? But that's an example. It's like, and now I feel like I'm kind of finally sliding in. It's like that sound when metal moves in, like in between the door, where it moves in and you hear that when the door closes, you hear that click, or when you hear a seatbelt go in and it clicks. The 8 of Swords sometimes is that point in the road where the next action after this card, whatever that is, and that's what step 4 is about, and we're going to get to that in a second, that's that click moment. That's when it finally clicks. So the 8 of Swords, it's not like, oh shit, I'm stuck. This sucks. I'm stuck here forever. No, this is the warning. This is the alarm. This is, hey kid. Hey everybody. Back to class. The bell's ringing. Stop spacing out, sitting at the lunch table. It's time to get back to work. It's time to try again. It's time to try to date somebody new, even though we were cheated on multiple times and we felt like shit about ourselves, and we literally gave up on love, and our heart chakra closed down, and we had to go to therapy, and we struggled with drinking and drugs, and we went through all this shit. It's like 8 of Swords. it's as hard as it needs to be. Is really what I'm trying to say. And that's why step 3 is so important. It's that moment of just taking a second. Now that all the information is out in the open, we're out in the light of day. You know, it's like, it's reminding me of Spot. Remember that little cartoon dog? I always remember this one episode where there was a blindfold on one of the characters, and or their hands were over their eyes. They were playing hide and seek, and because their hands were over their eyes, they thought that they disappeared. Like, this person, they feel like they can't be seen, or like the problem can't be seen because they have this blindfold on. But in reality, if we as the background characters walk by this person, we can just see this person standing out in the light of day, just with this blindfold on. So we can avoid stuff, but the reality is it's plain as day. It's kind of like it's written all over your face. We might think that we can just avoid issues and, avoid going deeper with these pools of water, when in reality, this 8 of Swords, it's gonna pop up. It's going to pop up again. It's going to pop up again. And it's actually kind of like an alarm from spirit. Hey, you going to fix that heart chakra? Hey, you going to try to love again? Hey, you going to work on that debt so that you don't feel like it's in the back of your brain every single damn day of your life? Hey, you going to actually try working on your business so that you don't feel like you're always like a second away from it, but you don't want to deal with it because you failed so many times? Hey, it's like it keeps popping up for you. It's like we're used to living with the blindfold on, right? Avoiding. And I do this every single day of my life, so no judgment here, right? I'm just saying, this is a no judgment zone, right? This is not like, hey, you should like deal with your 8 of Swords issues. This is like, no, let's like have a kumbaya moment with the freaking talking stick, because we're all struggling with our own stuff, right? It's like we get to see this card instead of us being the card. It's like spirit gives us this moment of a mirror with the 8 of Swords, where we're able to actually see ourselves in the 8 of Swords getup. And we're able to see like how silly we really look. Like, we're just out in the light of day. We think we're avoiding something, but look at how we're dressed. We have all these ropes on. We have this blindfold on. It's like spirit is trying to help us when the 8 of Swords pops up again and again and again. If we feel trapped in a situation and nothing's changing and we've tried everything and we still feel trapped, sometimes the solution of the 8 of Swords is to leave. Leave that job, leave that relationship, leave the state, move away, sell that car. Oh, I keep getting it fixed. Maybe you should just sell that bad boy and buy a new car. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I keep trying this workout routine again and again and again. Maybe try yoga instead. Maybe HIIT workouts are not your thing. Maybe you already have a bunch of anxiety. Like maybe yoga will help calm you down. Try something different. Maybe go on a walk instead of doing these crazy like routines that you feel like you have to kill yourself because you're having a come to Jesus moment with this, with this shallow water where you start to realize, wow, damn, I'm actually like overworking out because I hate myself and I'm trying to punish myself for all the chocolate cake that I ate, instead of going on a walk or doing yoga or strength. This is just an example, guys. You don't have to do any of this. I'm just saying like a strength routine that's actually good for me and I'm taking care of my body and I'm taking care of my health, as opposed to because I used to do this. I used to literally almost pass out at the gym after 2 hours because I was like punishing myself doing all this cardio. I had an eating disorder in the past. So I'm saying I had this 8 of Swords moment where I was like, oh my God, like I'm actually punishing myself. I thought I was like awesome. But actually, when I really thought deeply about it, I was like hurting myself at the gym, right? Sometimes with the 8 of Swords, we need to make a change, right? It's not always like, oh, we can fix this. Sometimes it's, let's change the entire thing. But we can only get to that point when we open up the information and look at it honestly, which goes back to step number 1. So finally, step number 4, once we're here, once we've admitted all of this and come to Jesus moment and realizing it's connected to deeper shit from our past and it's more emotional than we thought and that's why we're avoiding it, and then we have our moment where we comfort ourselves and all that. Now we're at step 4 and now we're cooking with gas. This is where we actually take the blindfold off, we shimmy up against those swords, we cut ourselves free. Oh my God, I'm free. It's literally just, but it's a process, right? It's not just like, oh damn, I should have just started with step 4. Why didn't I just start with step 4? Why didn't I just cut myself free? Well, that's the whole annoyance of the 8 of Swords energy. There's a reason why we're avoiding it. Everything we just said. There's no need to beat ourselves up. Oh, I could have just started with step 4. Why didn't I just start with a practical plan to pay down my debt? Why didn't I just start with a practical plan? Like maybe I need therapy. Maybe I need to do some like heart chakra healing. Maybe I need to like take care of myself more so that I feel more like ready to date again or whatever. Whatever it is. It's like there's a reason why we don't start at step 4 though, right? But now that we're here, we went through the whole process. We went through the whole deep shadow work of it all. Because it does take shadow work to get to this point of uncovering the truth, taking off the mask, it's kind of like throwing a big blanket over like an object in your house. And you're like, oh, it's because there's a blanket over it, so I can't see it anymore. We take off the blanket, we take off the blindfold, we uncut ourselves. And we come up with a practical plan, which we actually already started doing, right? When we looked at the information, the Dave Ramsey, remember? Where we went down and we wrote down the numbers. This is $7,000. This is $1,400. We kind of already got started with that. But step 4 is when we actually start to like walk it out. And that's the freedom of the 8 of Swords. It's as simple as that. And this is the most beautiful part of all, is it doesn't turn into the 9 of Swords where it starts to feel like it's getting too big for us. And we're going to have an episode on the 9 of Swords, but if you happen to get there, there's still a way out of the 9 of Swords. We're never stuck. That's the secret. We're never truly stuck. It's never too late. And no matter what happens to you in life, you can always come out on top no matter what. Right? I love you guys. It's been Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here. I hope that this episode helped you get out of your own 8 of Swords, because we all have them. Remember, you can always listen to this episode on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.